Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me and allowing me to continue to be your daily advocate. If you're new here or you're not subscribed for any reason, please do me a huge favor and hit the subscribe button. Thank you to all of you who have been watching and following me for so long. It truly means a lot, and I'm glad that I can be this person.
The organization that sued the SEC this past December because they refused to hand over documents that they were required to hand over as a result of a Freedom of Information Act, they've shared new abuses by the SEC today. That organization that sued the SEC, none other than Empower Oversight. Hopefully you're getting familiar with the name by this point. And upon reviewing the information that dropped today, Attorney John Deaton said the SEC is, quote, now officially obstructing justice, end quote. So I'm going to share with you all of the specifics. And you may recall just within the last couple weeks or so, the news dropped that former SEC Director William Hinman, he was told by the ethics office while he was at the SEC that he could not communicate with his former law firm, Simpson Thacher, not while he was working at the SEC. And of course, after that, and he talked to them anyway. We got the pages and pages, I think a couple hundred pages of documents that were released, and there's all sorts of emails indicating what actually happened. And then he left the SEC and went to go work for Simpson Thacher again, but not before giving his Ethereum free pass speech in June of 2018, benefiting his former employer, which became his, well, now current employer. So I'm going to give you the latest here, but it's an absolute abuse of justice. Before going further, I do want to be clear, I do not have a legal or financial background of any kind. I am not offering legal or financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. Here's the headline from Empower Oversight. SEC seeks delay in crypto conflicts case to allow former officials' law firm time to object. This story is so absurd. Wait till you get the specifics on this, and you won't be surprised either. I mean, it cites it as much in the delay in the headline. There's more delay because that's the SEC's MO, right? Delay, because they don't care. It just harms everyone else that's not them. So just delay. There you go. Anyway, in a new joint status report filed in the Eastern District of Virginia, the Securities and Exchange Commission argued that Empower Oversight's Freedom of Information Act, or FOIA for short, FOIA, a lawsuit should be delayed. The lawsuit should be delayed against the SEC while the SEC waits for approval from Simpson Thacher to release documents at issue in the litigation. In its portion of the joint status report, the SEC claims that, quote, it cannot yet propose a briefing schedule because a small subset of responsive records is subject to the SEC's confidential treatment procedure. The only remaining records to be released contain information that the law firm Simpson, Thacher, and Bartlett sent to the SEC, and that may be subject to confidential treatment. And let me just pause there to note, when they state that we're only waiting on that information that came from William Hinman's now current law firm, Simpson Thacher. When they state that's all they're waiting on, that is a blatant lie. And it's disgusting. I'm going to show you just how much information they know they're supposed to provide that they have not even addressed yet. I'm going to show you because there's 4 freaking pages of it. I'm going to put it on the damn screen. Take a look at this quote. This comes from Jason Foster, who is the founder and president of Empower Oversight. He said the following in response to that. The SEC is trying to duck accountability and delay judicial review of its failure to comply with FOIA by hiding behind the confidentiality interests of the law firm with whom its own ethics officials said its employees had a conflict, end quote. Isn't that something? Yes, it is. And check out this quote. This is another quote from Jason Foster. Again, he's the founder and president of Empower Oversight. He said the following. It's claimed that the law firm's potentially confidential records are the only remaining records to be released also shows a disturbing lack of good faith. At the SEC's request, Empower Oversight provided the names of people related to entities in its FOIA request on February 18th, to aid in the SEC search. Yet, contrary to its previous commitment, the SEC appears to have made no efforts to search for and produce records relating to those individuals. And so that is what I was talking about. And I'm going to pull it up in just a second. Again, there's 4 pages. And they're stating here, well, the only thing we're waiting on is this stuff from Simpson Thatcher. Back the hell up right there. You shut your damn mouth, you're going to be talking to a fool like that. No, there's 4 pages of stuff that you haven't addressed. It's complete and utter nonsense. And so upon reading this, I tweeted out the following this afternoon. Absolutely astonishing from the SEC, but exactly the type of behavior we've come to expect. The SEC has destroyed trust with the public it is supposed to serve. And then there was this. So this is how I got this list. This came from Jason Foster, again, running Empower Oversight. He said, this is the list of names to search that we provided at the SEC's request more than 2 months ago. Folks, it's been over 2 months. Not only have they not gotten back after over 2 months, they're pretending that they don't even have to do this. That's not how FOIA works, son. Like, it's Freedom of Information Act. Like, what they're doing, like, I don't know how it could possibly be legal. I mean, they're trying to walk a fine line. I'd say they've gone over it by just refusing to give over this information. They clearly don't want to, but they're going to have to. This can only go on for so long. They're legally required to address this. That's how it works in the United States, folks. And thankfully, that is indeed the case. Here's the document that he shared. And I'm not going to read it. It's mostly just a bunch of names. But you can see as I scroll through it, they're just pretending that this doesn't exist. And again, Empower Oversight, they handed this over to make the search easier. All they have to do is plug the names in. Do they know how computers work today? Because literally just plug it in. It's a search field. Have you used Google before? That's a search field. Use it in your damn system. Of course you have it. You're the SEC. Don't pretend like you don't. And there's a bunch of names in here that will not surprise you. A lot of them have to do with the Ethereum Alliance. And so in response to that, Attorney John Deaton wrote the following. Why won't the SEC answer Empower Oversight's FOIA responsively? It doesn't take long to see if you have emails from the individuals requested. The truth will eventually come out. Now pause to think about the truth of this. So if you were looking at the screen, you saw it. I mean, it's a fair bit of names. It's 4 pages of names. Single space, though. You know, it's not like there's paragraphs of names for 4 pages. But how long would it take you to copy and paste each of those names and put it into a search field? You could try this test yourself, basically. See how long that pulls up, and then think, okay, imagine that there's results for some or all of them, a lot of them, whatever it ends up being. And they're like, oh, here is the data. Copy that data. And then you just send it over. How long does that take? Like a small portion of an afternoon, a tiny portion of an afternoon? This doesn't take a lot of time, folks. This is completely unacceptable. And then John Deaton tweeted out the following. The SEC is supposed to fight for justice. Instead, it is now officially obstructing justice. And then he shares this quote again. Its claim that the law firm's potentially confidential records are the only remaining records to be released also show a disturbing lack of good faith, end quote. So then he was quoting Jason Foster there again. Yeah, you're damn right it shows a disturbing lack of good faith. Officially obstructing justice according to John Deaton. Who wouldn't agree with that? If you just look at the facts, even if you don't know anything about this damn case, just look at the facts. Look at what the SEC is doing. But the typical person has no idea this is how the SEC behaves. Before getting into this case, I had no idea how terrible they were. You know, they're completely repulsive monsters as far as I'm concerned at this point. Really grinds my gears, folks. And then there was this from attorney Jeremy Hogan to just kind of bring that point home. He tweeted out the following. And this was just today, this morning. I consulted with the United States Crypto Project the other day. And they said, basically, and this is like a quote, paraphrasing what they said, we just want to be 100% in compliance with regulations and sleep at night knowing we won't be sued. That's the quote. And then Jeremy wrote the following in his tweet. I had to tell them, sorry, that's impossible in the United States. Maybe in another country, but not here. I hate it, but it's true. Now, folks, doesn't that bring the point home? And isn't that sad? I mean, at this day and age, how... It's so... Can you see how it's grinding my gears? My gears are getting so ground up I can't even make mouth words anymore. But think about it, and here they have the audacity to make the bogus claim that there's actually some sort of coherent regulation in place right now for the entire crypto asset class, as if there weren't uncertainty and market confusion. No. Have you talked to any business in the United States that operates in this space? Because they will tell you there is definitely not certainty regarding the regulatory status here as it pertains specifically to the SEC.
So enjoy your day, everybody. I'm always here for you. Leave any comments or questions below, and be sure to subscribe. But thanks, everybody. I really appreciate you. Enjoy your day, and I always have your back. So thanks so much, everybody.